I never thought I'd watch my own sister burn my life down, and then beg me to save hers. My name is Ethan. I'm in my early 30s, and I work in operations management at a mid-sized company. It's not flashy, but it's stable. Long hours, constant problem solving, always keeping things from falling apart. Honestly, that's been my role my entire life. In my family, I've always been the one who figures things out. The reliable one. Which really just meant no one ever checked on me, because I'd be fine. My parents, Richard and Linda, always acted like I was born knowing what I was doing. If I struggled, they assumed I'd handle it. Meanwhile, my younger sister, Chloe, was treated like she was fragile glass. Everything she did, even the questionable stuff, got praised, brave, stressful. So much for her to handle. I stopped expecting fairness a long time ago, so I spent 7 years saving every extra dollar. No vacations, cheap meals, overtime whenever I could get it. And finally, I bought a house. Nothing fancy, just a 3-bedroom ranch at the edge of town. Most people would have walked away from it. It needed a ton of work, but I saw potential. I knew if I stuck with it, I could turn it into something solid. The paint was peeling. The floors were scratched to hell. The kitchen cabinets were warped so badly you could see light through the cracks. But it was mine. No roommates, no landlords, no shared walls. For the first time in my life, I stepped into a space that was fully mine. Not pride, exactly. More like relief. Like all those years of grinding finally meant something. Renovating the place became a second full-time job. I'd work 10 hours, come home, change clothes, and start fixing whatever needed attention. I watched tutorials until my eyes burned. Some nights I passed out on the floor with tools scattered around me. My shoulders hurt for weeks. Weekends were for big projects. Bathroom redo, old flooring removal, fixing the deck. My best friend Jake helped with the heavy stuff. He's known me since high school. He's seen enough of my family to understand why I am the way I am. He used to joke that the house would be my proof that I survived growing up as a background character in my own life. He wasn't wrong. When I finally showed my parents the progress, they acted proud, I guess, but in that quiet way, like they didn't want to make a big deal out of it. My dad just said, "You've always been handy," like rebuilding a house alone was just expected. My mom smiled and said it was nice. Not amazing, not impressive, just nice. They meant well. I know that. But it felt like they were checking off a box. If Chloe had done the same thing, there would have been a party. Speaking of Chloe, my parents still talk about her wedding like it was the greatest event of the decade. Years later, and they still bring it up. The colors, the venue, how magical it was. I didn't realize until later how much they paid for it. When I once mentioned how hard the down payment had been for me, they said they wished they could help equally. But Chloe needed it more. Apparently, need only counts when it's hers. But I didn't buy the house for their approval. I bought it because I wanted something that couldn't be taken away or twisted into someone else's story. Still, when I finished the major work and stood outside looking at it, I expected to feel something bigger. Instead, I just felt solid, grounded, like I finally had something that belonged only to me. What I didn't realize was that my family didn't see it that way. To me, it was my home. To them, it was available. And that's where everything went wrong. I planned a small housewarming. 10, maybe 12 people. Just family, Jake, and a couple co-workers. Nothing fancy. Pizza, folding chairs, simple afternoon. Chloe showed up 20 minutes early. With 15 extra people I didn't know. They poured into my house like it was an open event. Before I could even react, my mom clapped her hands and said how sweet it was that Chloe brought extra family energy. I tried to say something, but my dad cut me off. It's family, Ethan. Don't be weird. More people means more love. It didn't feel like love. It felt like I was being overrun. Chloe walked in like she owned the place. Her toddler son, Mason, was on her hip, and she let him loose immediately. The strangers she brought wandered around opening cabinets and complimenting random things like light switches. Her husband Tyler came in last. He had that same look he always has. Chin up, eyes scanning, like he was evaluating an investment he didn't pay for. He nodded slowly, like he approved. That annoyed me more than I expected. Then Chloe started making comments. They sounded like jokes, but they weren't. "Wow, Ethan, 3 bedrooms. What's the plan? A bachelor fortress?" I forced a smile. She kept going. "Kinda wild, honestly. One guy with all this space. What are you gonna do? Talk to the walls? Must be nice having no real responsibilities." A few people laughed. I didn't. My dad chimed in. "Well, you do have extra space. She's just pointing out the obvious." My mom added, "I always said you'd grow into something like this once you settle down." They made it sound like I bought a toy. Then Chloe insisted on a house tour. She walked ahead of everyone, opening doors like she already owned the place. In the first bedroom, she turned to her crowd. "This would be perfect for Mason. Look at that light. He needs sunlight." I blinked. She wasn't joking. Tyler leaned against the door frame. "Yeah," he said. "This actually fits our needs pretty well." Our needs. Like he'd already moved in. Jake stayed right next to me the whole time. His expression said everything. Chloe kept going room by room like she was shopping. Meanwhile, Mason dragged a plastic toy across the hardwood floors I spent 3 weekends fixing. Every scrape hit my nerves. No one stopped him. By the time we got to the kitchen, one of her guests opened my fridge and asked if there were more drinks. I told him to stop going through my stuff. He laughed. "Chloe said this place is basically family property." I stood there, stunned. Chloe just looked at me like I was overreacting. "Relax, Ethan, it's just family." Jake muttered something under his breath. The whole thing felt out of control. Then Chloe clapped her hands loudly in the middle of the living room. "I have a plan," she said. She pulled out a folder. I stepped closer. "A plan for what?" She ignored me and started flipping through papers. Then she said it. "You should transfer the deed to us." Just like that. The room went silent. Tyler stepped beside her. "Your mortgage is manageable," he said. "We've already figured out how we'd use the rooms." I cut him off. "You're talking like you own it." He smiled. "We're being practical." Chloe laid papers on the table. "You transfer the house to us," she said. "Then you can live in the basement apartment we'll build. It's perfect." I felt something snap. "I'm not renting anything from you. I bought this house. I built it." She waved that off. Yes, you worked hard. But a child needs stability more than your pride." Then she pointed at numbers. "Mortgage is about $1,100, right?" I didn't answer. Tyler stepped in. "We can cover $400, maybe $450 sometimes. You handle the rest." I laughed once. "You want my house, and for me to pay most of it?" Chloe didn't hesitate. "It's not giving, it's supporting family. You're choosing money over blood if you say no?" That was it. "You don't get to guilt me in my own house." She tried to hold eye contact. She couldn't. My dad stepped in. "Let's hear both sides." "There aren't 2 sides," I said. "There's my house, and them trying to take it." Jake stood up. "This isn't negotiation. It's theft." Then Tyler started talking about housing law, like he knew something. Jake shut him down immediately. "That's not a law. You read that online." Tyler stumbled. Chloe snapped back at me. "So you hate your nephew?" I stepped closer. "Don't use your kid as an excuse. This is about you wanting what I earned." Silence. Then I pointed at the door. "Everyone out, now!" She gasped. "You're kicking out family." Yes. One by one, they left. And that was the moment my house stopped feeling safe. The next morning, my phone exploded. Chloe sent message after message. Insults, guilt trips, fake screenshots. "You're not a real man. You're selfish. Mason deserves better." Tyler started messaging too. Smug. "Let us know when you're ready to be mature." I'll start planning basement renovations. Like he already owned the place. I blocked him. He texted from another number. He even emailed me contractor ideas. I didn't respond. By noon, Chloe went public. She posted online saying I kicked out a mother and child. People believed her. By afternoon, my dad called. "Just apologize," he said. "She's hurting." "She's not hurting," I said. "She's mad she didn't get her way." My mom called next. I sent them proof, messages, everything. They still minimized it. "You're being prideful," my dad said. That night, Jake came over. "This is harassment," he said. "Document everything. Get cameras." So I did. Doorbell cam, backyard cam, new locks. When my parents found out, they said I was escalating. No, I was protecting myself. A week later, I left for a work trip, 3 days out of state. I locked the door and looked back at my house. For the first time, I felt uneasy. Something was coming. On the second day, I got a call. Fire department. "There's been a fire at your property." Everything stopped. I drove back in a blur. When I got there, I saw smoke, fire trucks, and what was left of my house, burned, destroyed. And my parents were there, already defending someone. The investigation started immediately. They said it looked intentional. I showed them my camera footage, a figure in a hoodie, then the feed cut, then the fire. When they asked about conflicts, I showed everything. Messages, posts, everything. Then I saw Chloe, crying, not about the house, about me talking to the police. "I can't believe you'd let them think I did this," she said. I never accused her, but she acted like I had. The investigation moved fast. A week later, they called me in. They had evidence, accelerants, footage, witnesses. They charged her. She was arrested that same day. My dad called me furious. "What did you do?" I told the truth. "You could have stopped this." "She burned my house," my mom cried. "She made a mistake." They begged me to lie. I refused. Tyler went online again, painting her as a victim. Then he threatened me. Then he showed up at my property. He tried to fight me. I shut him down fast. Jake saw the whole thing. Tyler left humiliated. The case dragged on. Eventually, Chloe took a plea deal. Guilty, probation, counseling, community service, and restitution, tens of thousands. Insurance covered the rest. I didn't rebuild. I sold the land. I walked away. At her sentencing, my parents begged me again. "Enough is enough," my mom said. "She has a child." "He needed stability before she burned my house," I said. They called me cruel. I called it honesty. That was the last conversation we had. I blocked them all. 2 months later, I moved. New state, new job, better life. A quiet apartment, no chaos, no demands, just peace. Jake helped me move in. "This is your first normal chapter," he said. He was right. No celebration, just quiet. The kind you only notice after years of noise. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the strong one. I was just a man, finally living in peace. And that was enough.